Hi everyone, welcome back to Coffee, Books, and Rain, where we love to talk about all things books and literature, upcoming, things from the past, things from the future. Well, and I say the future because sometimes we get advanced reader copies that aren't out just yet. And the to be reads to be soon. I have my little beverage over here, which is nothing spicy, nothing adult related. It is rose syrup, strawberry syrup, and a little bit of club soda. So nothing that anybody else couldn't have. I did try to get some sugar-free strawberry, but the rose, goodness, the rose was handmade by a lady I found here in Huntsville, and it's really good. Not overly rose either, so it doesn't taste like I'm drinking flowers, which it's a fine line to walk. So kudos to her for being able to do that. I am talking to you guys about a book called When Among Crows by Veronica Roth. And this was one that I actually tried to get the paper version of, or the ebook version of, and didn't get the ebook version. But then I saw the audiobook version, and I got the audiobook version. So I was like, hey, well, at least I got it, so that's fine. I was actually denied the ebook version. I don't know. I think maybe they do sometimes have a quota of the number of people they can give, like, copies to, and totally fine. I completely understand. I completely get that. So, but I was just really thankful that I was able to get the audiobook version because I was very interested in this book. Now, first things first about this book is I would actually say do not read the summary before you dive into this book. And it's not even really a book, it's a novella. It's about 175 pages. So shorter than a book, but still very action-packed, lots of things going on, and a pretty intense sort of read. If you like fantasy, if you like a little bit of sci-fi, again with those gothic vibes, dystopian sort of future-ish sort of thing, then this may be up your alley to read or listen to in whatever capacity. Now, I will say that I think reading this might have been a little bit more difficult for me because I think a lot of the names and a lot of some of the words are and I'm just trying to think. I would say like Eastern European, and I was trying to think of like where in Eastern Europe they probably like derived from. However, I don't really want to guess, but I mean, the names are very unique, and so I think I needed the audiobook version in order to kind of try my best to understand some of those names. So I want to thank NetGalley for providing me that audiobook version. It was not very long, couple hours at best. I think with it being 176 pages, 4 hours possibly, but I couldn't imagine it was much more than that. Honestly, I think I listened to it in about 2 days because I was kind of enthralled. But there again, I don't want to read the summary guide to you guys because I feel like it kind of gives some of it away. I read the summary on NetGalley when I applied for the book, and I felt like not only did I get given some of the spoilers or some of the reveals throughout the book, but it kind of prepared me for something that I really feel like I didn't really get on the surface. So that was kind of like, those were some of my issues with it. I gave it 4 stars because I really did enjoy it. But there was a dissonance between like what I was expecting and then what I got. So we do have this main character, Dimitri, and he is starting on a quest in order to complete a task that he feels he needs to complete. It is kind of like a life debt or a blood debt that he feels he wants to repay. But first, he has to acquire the specific flower. And by acquiring the specific flower, he then needs to be able to hunt down Baba Yaga and barter with her to see if she will then help him with the next step of his task. And so, with all that being said, he does kind of have a small band of individuals who join him. And I I feel like this summary just does not really do justice for what we actually get when we read the story. Um, it was really fantastic, but don't read the synopsis because it just gives you too much away. Love the fact that it's set in kind of an urban street of Chicago sort of vibe. If you've read the Dresden Files at all, you'll kind of know what I'm talking about when you talk like the urban streets of Chicago. It's a little bit gritty. It's a little bit dark. But I've lived there. I've lived in Chicago, and it's kind of funny because I don't find the parts of Chicago that I lived in weren't really gritty or dark, but man, I loved that city. So anytime I read a book that is set in Chicago, I'm all about it. 100% all about it. There is a lot of Slavic folklore that I wish I knew more about. There are references in this book. I only knew really about Baba Yaga and her house with chicken feet. Those were pretty familiar because I have read a book on the podcast Books Are Magical, which we talked about a book called Thistlefoot, which does talk about Baba Yaga and her house. And I believe Thistlefoot is the house. Anyway, but it's got chicken feet and everything, and it kind of runs around like the countryside, and nobody really cares. But a brother and sister they inherit the house. So I would love to know more about Slavic folklore. I think that's one area of folklore that I am for sure missing. I have delved into Greek, Roman, Egyptian, Norse, so I think Slavic might be the next one that I just need to look into with regards to just some of their beliefs. And I mean, I only know of Baba Yaga, and I don't even want to say the way that they used that in John Wick was very humorous in my opinion, just simply because I was like, well, she's kind of like this witch, and then they're like, oh, he's a boogeyman, and I'm like, well, okay, but no, but okay, but no. So anyway, he's the thing that kind of lurks in the dark that will come and get you. There's themes of loss. There's lots of themes of people not being what they seem. And I will say, it seems as though the monsters are not the bad guys, and it seems as though the ones, the hunters, the ones that may be usually the heroes, are not the heroes. There's a lot going on in just so many, in such a short number of pages. I truly wish she could have fleshed this out a little bit more to be an actual novel, because I think we could have gone in depth just a little bit more with some of the things going on. Character relationships could have been fleshed out a little bit more and kind of helping me get some of that understanding to give me a better impact, as well as kind of storytelling just in general. I do like that somebody said it's a modern day fairy tale, and I really enjoyed it. But remember, original fairy tales were dark and dirty and gritty. So when this person says a modern day fairy tale, I'm like, okay, it's a modern day Grimm fairy tale, because it's not happy Disney fairy tale. This is not a Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale. This is a Grimm's Brothers fairy tale, in my personal opinion. And I also love the fact that Rebecca Rowanhorse, she's an author that I feel like my podcast co-host Annalicia and I have covered at least one of her books for. It might have been a novella. She came on here and she also talked about it, how she loved it, and she gave it all the stars. And so just really wanted to highlight that when other authors come on here to talk about authors, I love that. I love when authors lift up other authors. My podcast and I, we're working on like interviewing authors right now. We've had several through the early parts of the year, and we've got several more on the horizon. And we love when they talk about like some of their counterparts, and like the ones that are really fun, the ones that are really helpful, and who they love. We love listening to that sort of thing. They have been amazing and awesome. So please go check out our author interviews or what have you. But anyway, Rebecca Roanhorse gave it 5 out of 5, and I think there's just moments in this story that are, like I said, deep and gritty. They are dark. They are, and I don't want to say emotional because I don't feel like I just felt like a ton of emotion, like you would like a drama, but you do feel those gothic vibes, which kind of give you that eerie feeling. There is a sense of violence in here, but it's almost necessary violence in some ways. And I think you do get some like small points of intimacy, but I'll leave that up to you to decide. I'm not here to kind of set you up again because I don't want to read the summary for you, because if I read the summary for you, it's literally giving away half the story. So my personal rec, don't read the summary. Go read the novella. It's really short, and then there you go. And then you can go back and read it, and then you'll understand what I'm talking about. I loved it. I wish I had more. I literally wish I had more of the story to enjoy. 176 pages was absolutely not enough. I needed at least another 100 to 150 pages. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. If you've made it this far, I hope you have liked and subscribed by now. I'm a very small, hopefully growing YouTube channel. This is literally just a hobby that I like and love doing. Love coming on here and talking about books, trying to give my honest opinions with the hopes that you all will take it with whatever grain of salt you take it with. Please always form your own opinions on books, because that is the only way we should do this. Now, often I know I do kind of refer to some Goodreads, like, commentary. However, it is just a source, but it should never be the primary source. You yourself and your mind should always be the primary source of forming opinions. And that's just my simple thoughts on that. All of this that you hear is my own honest opinions. And there you go. And until next time, I hope I will see you all on the next page. Please, if you have a moment, check out our podcast, Books Are Magical, where you get to hear my voice for substantially longer. So sorry about that. I know I'm probably absolutely annoying. You don't get to see my face too frequently because we haven't really yet started doing that, but we're starting a YouTube channel where all we're doing is just posting the audio to YouTube, so it just provides another place to listen. We may do some shorts in there, who knows. Trying to convince my co-hosts and my friends to join me in that endeavor. I know it's a big leap from sharing your voice to also sharing your face and voice. I literally have no shame. I absolutely don't care. I am the type of person who does not care if I have to give a speech in front of people. Just tell me what I'm talking about. Or tell me how much time I'm supposed to fill, and I'll just get up there and wing it. That is just who I am, but that's because I don't have any shame. I won't apologize for that. But thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you guys on the next page. Have a great one. Bye.